Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Kawai, joined by Charker.
What's up?
We get to talk to the producer, Brian Gay, of Werewolf by Night. That's what you're about to see. Thanks so much for joining us. Also, we will have a reaction to Werewolf by Night on this channel. If you want to see the full thing without cuts or interruptions, because that's the only kind we are allowed to show on YouTube, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabbyKawai, or become a member of this YouTube channel to watch the entire thing with us. But you will need your own Disney Plus subscription, so you can open up the movie in an adjacent window to our reaction, and we give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown sync. It'll be like you're watching it with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Here is our interview with Brian Gay. Enjoy. My first question to you is, what went into the decision to make this a short feature for Disney Plus instead of something for theatrical distribution?
Disney Plus has been great because you can do so many different things, right? 10 years ago, if we were making something, it had to be a movie, had to go in theaters. And that's great. I love movies. But then Disney Plus happened, like, we can make a TV series. It can be 10 episodes. It can be 6 episodes. What can it be? And it turns out the answer is anything.
Right.
And so we had talked about internally how we used to love network specials, things like Frosty the Snowman or any of the Charlie Brown things that would come on once a year and it would be sort of an event. Yeah. We also talked about even the Disney Sunday night movies from like the late 90s, early 2000s. It felt like an event, felt like something special. We said, could we make something like that? And Werewolf by Night was a character we'd been looking to put in for many years, and this just seemed like the right thing to do. It gives you a sense. He's got a very nature to him that speaks to like this sort of moody horror atmosphere, and it felt like a fun taste to get into.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. Why do you think a character like Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night, is relevant now?
One of the things that I found so compelling about Jack is what Gael Garcia Bernal was able to bring out of him. And it's essentially that there is a humanity to him.
Yeah.
You know he's going into this dangerous night, but in the way that Gael's portraying Jack, you just feel for him. You get a sense of, worry, but then sometimes he's putting on a front because he's got to, lie his way and get into it. But then there are some real moments where he's clearly going over his head. And so I think for that character to have so many sides of him and to be able to share them all and show them all, not only to Elsa, but to other people in the show, it feels like it's a nice thing that, things can be scary sometimes, but, your humanity shows through.
Was there any pushback on the violence from the higher-ups? Because we noticed that this is more violent than your average thing that we see on Disney+.
Yeah, so when we were making this, we said we always start with story. Yeah. What makes sense, right? And you're going into a world with the best monster hunters in the world. They're going after the most powerful artifact they know. My gut's telling me they're probably not going to sit down and just talk about it.
Yeah.
They're probably going to pick up a weapon or two, and there might be some words.
Yeah.
In doing so, we wanted you to feel the sort of stress on Jack and Elsa, but also the tension and the stakes and the consequences that when you put all these dangerous people together, dangerous things are going to happen.
How hard did the director, Michael Giacchino, I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that correctly, how hard did he have to fight to get the movie done in black and white with the old Hollywood horror style?
I think this may come as a surprise, but not hard at all.
Okay.
And it's because we had talked from the very beginning about loving movies like The Wolfman or The Mummy from the 1930s or Creature from the Black Lagoon, like these old style classic Hollywood monster movies. And at some point we were looking at it and we were working with our DP, Zoe White, who's incredibly talented. We said, well, what if it's just in black and white? And everyone's like, let's do it in black and white.
Awesome.
Like, it makes sense. And then we add things like film grain and other things that make it feel like that old style movie.
Every werewolf movie has an iconic shot of a werewolf howling at the moon. Now, I know it's not a full moon in this one.
Not a full moon.
5 days out, but is there a deleted shot of him howling at a waxing moon?
No, there's not. That's funny. No, but that was one of the things actually that you bring up that we talk about, that there are certain tropes to werewolf movies and stories, and we wanted to try and where it is, lean into where they're fun and maybe take them away. So the moment you see it's not a full moon, you're like, oh, well, how's this going to work? Well, let me tell you. The bloodstone.
Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your time. This was fun.
That's great. Glad to meet you guys.
All right, you too. Well, that concludes our interview with Brian Gay, the producer of Werewolf by Night. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And let us know what you thought of the interview, our silly questions in the comments below. If you've had a chance to watch Werewolf by Night by the time you're seeing this, would love to know what you thought of it. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Jabby Kawai. This is
Achara Kirk.
Peace out.